Alright, what's up, guys? I am in higher spirits today. I felt it's needed to do a video just to kind of follow up the last one I did for just because I have had some good outreach from y'all, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it for the individuals that reached out to me, and each one of you has brightened my mood further by reaching out and saying, hey, you know, I can help you out. Some of you have said you can lend me your printer time or print things for me if I'm in a pinch. And that means a lot. You know, unfortunately, printer production really isn't the issue. As you can see, half these things aren't running. It's a little bit more on the management side of it and time management and, you know, other things that I've just got to kind of figure out and work through. Mostly just job. I think what essentially has happened, and what other people are kind of repeating back to me, multiple people, is that I've got myself a little bit too busy. And I never thought that, because I figured if I was really too busy, I'd be making enough money that I wouldn't feel like I was broke. But what happened is, as I got so busy, I started making mistakes. And, you know, now that I've made 4 or 5 mistakes on big jobs that I make more money on, you know, those all compounded into like into an oh shit moment. Now, luckily, on the biggest one that messed up, the job that I was talking about, where I'm printing prototypes for an injection molded piece. So none of these can be used in the real world. None of these are like what the end-use product is going to be. It's literally just for test fitment, and it was supposed to be a $250 order, and it turned out as a $7,000 order. That company feels for me. They understand I'm literally one dude. I think they're not too many. They're only like... They're a subdivision of a larger company. So it's easier for the bigger company to be like, hey, this is worth it for us for our prototyping, and then we'll also do service for other businesses. They don't do consumer business, so they're helping me out with that to some degree. I still don't know what it is, but, you know, I talked to one of them today, and he's like, man, yeah, I feel for you. Because, I literally just didn't read an email, 2 or 3 emails fully. I didn't look at the invoice while I'm driving, and I was expecting a $200 invoice, so I said, approve it, go. I couldn't have expected it to be $7,000. But I told that company, and this is a good tip for anyone else who's into the business, if something like that could ever potentially go wrong, you're subcontracting or ordering other things, you might put in there, don't do the work till I pay. And that's generally what I do for everyone in my company is, I don't start your job till you pay me. And there are some exceptions, and I've made some exceptions. There's certain big companies that are net 30, net 40. They only pay on delivery. So there's plenty of exceptions there, even, $20 orders and stuff like that. But if you're doing a $60 to a several hundred or $1,000 order, you better not work on it until you've got payment, at least half to 3/4 down. But I literally charge full payment up front for everything, because generally my filament cost, before my filament costs were 50 to 60% of the job. Now my filament costs are more like, hopefully, 10% to 20% of the job. It should be less, especially, when I use this big printer, I want the filament to not cost that much to do an individual print. But, if one print fails, I could lose 2 or 3 rolls. So that, a $300 print, losing 3 rolls 2 times, you could potentially start being in the hole really quickly. So you got to think about these things as far as business goes. Am I better financially at the moment? If no. Stuff's still going to be tough, but my spirits are high. I want y'all to know that, it's not a crybaby day or video. I generally feel myself as a tough guy. It's not, I don't break down really ever. I'm trying to think of the last time I had one besides yesterday, essentially, and the day before that. It's been a very long time. I don't do that. But last night we had our 3D Print Club meeting. It went really well. I taught on Cura. I really need to just make that a YouTube lesson. That's probably what I'll do is a YouTube lesson on Cura, because what I did last night was essentially just going through Cura, but it was really informative. And it straight up took about an hour and a half, so it'll be a long video. But if you know nothing about Cura, or, you're using another slicer and you want to learn a bunch of stuff about Cura, that might be a good video for you. So I'll see if I can do that. But what else? that 5-minute mark, so I got to restart it. How many of y'all catch that? Some people have said they didn't catch it. Some people said it bugs them when every time I have a split like that, when it's not super clean. My apologies. Just the limitation of me using wide angle, I guess. But I think the wide angle looks cooler than, the up front. Like we can, you can see so much more with a wide angle when I'm showing my big messy shop. Man, one thing I've got to talk about, and this is something I did not think about till now, till yesterday, honestly, but I moved into a Makerspace, right? So the rest of this space is, a Makerspace. You spend $25 a month, you get access to this room where we got, lathes, drill press, sanders, and, sandblasters, and air compressors, and welders, and all this stuff. Well, midday, someone comes up here to be a maker, and all the power to them. I'm excited about that. I love the Makerspace. But with an air compressor going, and, what else was going? There was something else going, and shit, and, this is a small Makerspace that's new, but it's a hell of a lot of noise. I mean, I literally could not have grinders and air compressors going and have a client up front here. I mean, this is a business, this is a Makerspace, so, yeah, I've got to really consider things, because we're up to like 5-6 members or something like that, not, maybe 10. The goal is like 40 to 50. So if 10 gets me one person up here one day a week, not a big deal. I could probably deal with 30 to 40. But if we ever got 150 plus members and this place is kind of jamming every day, there's no way in hell I'll be able to run my business up front here. I mean, let's be realistic with it. So there are some things we can do to mitigate it. I think that's what we'll probably have to do, is heavily fill this wall with insulation. We'll have to soundproof this thing. I mean, maybe not insulation, maybe just sound deadening straight up, and then some big doors. That's the only thing I can really think of to where I could make it work. I mean, because if it's going to be so noisy that I can't hold a phone conversation or an in-person conversation, it's just not going to work. There are some other shops down here that I've seen that are just storage, or that are, run down as well. Maybe I can look into leasing a different place, because I'm subleasing this from the guy that leases it from the property manager. And then the owner is, a rare time that he's around. I don't even think I've met him. But I met the property manager. She's nice. So maybe there'll be an opportunity to rent, a space just down the street, because I want to be a part of the Makerspace. I like it. But honestly speaking, too, I could use the extra space. I mean, I've now condensed this, and what my girl was saying is, with the way that I condense the king rooms on the shelves, and, if I use this shelf and set it up like this, I could potentially go back to the garage. I mean, how do y'all feel about that? Like, in the comments, if you're one of the people that know me personally and got my phone number, text me, call me. I'm so busy right now, I'm not reading the comments. I apologize, guys. One day we'll get back to the comments, but it probably won't be today. But yeah, so moving back to the garage, I mean, me personally, right now, I don't want to do it. I mean, the rent here is cheap enough. I mean, just being straight, it's under $500. It's cheap enough. Now, I am only using up about this much space, and a little bit over here. So it's not all, like, I could fit it back in my garage, but do I want to? Like, I do get a handful of walk-ins. I've got a handful of customers that are right down the street. I'm right down the street from Lockheed and a couple other businesses. There's not any industry businesses, and they don't like showing up to garages. They don't mind, and I've had it happen, but this is more impressive. So I kind of like the storefront. I don't want to move from it. I just might need to change it up some, because it's going to be, this water on the ground. Someone just sat there and had this just barely clicked up like that. It was just dripping, like drip, one drip, drip, one drip. So, came into a little bit of water. But yeah, what's your thoughts there? Should I move? Should I not move? What do you think I can do with the Makerspace? Do we think this is something where I should stay here and insulate the place? I mean, honestly speaking, the price of insulating this wall and installing a door is probably the price of 2 months of rent. In another location, maybe 4 months of rent, me here. But I like the space. I like stuff about it, so we'll have to figure something out because the noise will be an issue. Man, otherwise, I still have this one job in the back pocket, and I've told a lot of people about it. But if it goes well, it could dig me out of all the debt and do other things. So I'm just staying really hopeful that any day that one will come through, because it should be really easy. It should be really impressive. It should look really good. It's going to be an awesome combination of my welding skills, my 3D printing skills, my sales skills, and getting the whole job. Because initially I was only going to make a miniature of the thing, and then when I told him I could essentially do the whole thing, he said, great, you're my one-stop shop. I don't have to go to multiple people. I'll just pay you to do everything. So that's the plan there. But all right, I'm going to end this before it gets too long, guys. But catch up with me. I appreciate y'all comments. I appreciate the phone calls and emails, the Facebook messages. I want to keep this going. I don't want to start some crybaby like crowdfunding account and be like, oh, I need money and I got to get bailed out. I'm going to do everything I can, to keep this running. If I ever get into a position where it's just like, hey guys, I can't keep my electricity on or something, I'd rather end the company straight up than ask for money. So I don't ever want to get to that point if I can help it. I mean, I've made it successful up to this point. I'm making more money than I ever have before. I'm also spending more money than I ever have before. But I still feel really confident I can do it. And I feel good. And we'll figure it out. I'm not showing my face, though, because my hair, my face looks terrible. I generally wouldn't mind, but, like, straight up, I look bad. I look real bad. I've been told I look bad multiple times. I need a haircut. I've been trying to get a haircut. I keep walking. There's a lady that does haircutting down the street. I've walked in like 3-4 times, and she's like, oh, yeah, tomorrow, I'm super busy today. Come in. She, oh, yeah, I'll get you after her. Yeah, okay, I'll come get you. Like 4 more people walk in. She takes them. So shoot, maybe I'll have to go somewhere else if I have to. But I never had my haircut by her, so I was gonna see. She's down the strip, support the local business type of thing. But yeah, maybe when I get a haircut, I'll do another video and update, and I'll look a little bit better than my scruffy face, homeless looking self now. But thanks, guys. I appreciate your support. I'll do more videos. I mean, that's what I got to do. Is I just got to stay more active on this. Yeah. I just keep thinking about all these bad decisions I made, and I can't let it spiral me down negatively. It's so silly. I mean, like one of them, last one, I watched a YouTuber, and if you know different YouTubers and popular ones, he shredded a vehicle, and he had, about a couple thousand jars, and in like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 of them, he put upwards of 10K in these jars. So the jar is, shredded truck. But some lucky bastards got $75,000 to $10,000. Well, I bought one. I wasn't one of those lucky people. I was hoping, but that jar of shredded truck was not a big deal when I bought it. But today, I would have loved to have that money back rather than a jar of shredded truck. I got a good story from it, and it would have been real sweet if I got a $10,000, $20,000, $75,000 jar. And this video would be a lot different. But it's not. So, no worries. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.